Well, hello there, YouTube. Long time no see. Today's video, we are talking about printing on watercolor paper. Now, a customer brought this line drawing in. They wanted me to scan it, and she wanted me to make prints so she could add color watercolors to it without having to redraw the basic pen work every single time. But if you've ever tried using watercolors on fine art paper, it does not work. Now, inkjet papers have a special coating on them to allow them to receive the ink from your inkjet printers. That's why if you run non-coated paper through an inkjet printer, it ends up looking really dull and flat. So a while back, I wanted to print some line art drawings that I created on my computer, and then I wanted to add some watercolors. And I figured out that this inkjet coating prevents the watercolors from soaking in right, and it just looks like garbage. So I bought a book of watercolor paper, and I tried to feed it into my Epson SP900 as a velvet fine art paper. And it worked. So I decided that I'm going to do the same again today to show you guys how to do it. And one thing I did not try before is printing colors on this watercolor paper, which I do not expect to work nearly as well. But if you're just wanting a black and white outline, it should be totally fine. Now this paper's thick, it's 300 GSM, so I loaded it into the front feeder on my Epson P900, and I'm going to go ahead and try to run the print and see what happens. So it worked pretty well. This is the original, and this is 2 copies of the reproduction. And the darks definitely are not as bold and as dark as in her original. I don't know if that's something I'm really going to be able to adjust. I think that's just the way that the blacks are absorbing into this watercolor paper. But I think she'll be fine with this, and these will do what she needs them to do. So this should theoretically work with any home inkjet printer too, as long as your printer is capable of taking really thick paper. This paper might go through the normal slot, but just to be safe, this printer allows flat feeding through the front where it pulls it out the back and then pulls it back through to print. Just for the test's sake, let's go ahead and try a color image. So the color print actually came out better than I thought. The colors aren't exactly accurate, but this could still be a fun thing to add some watercolors to in the future, so I'll be experimenting with it more. But the way that the ink absorbed into this paper is definitely a lot different than it looks when I do a fine art print of this same image. So I used the Velvet Fine Art setting on the printer and the ICC profile for the Velvet Fine Art for Epson as well within QImage 1, and I used the front loader on the SP900, but I imagine this will work with any printer that takes thick stock. So there you go. If you ever want to print on watercolor paper, that's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.